Are you considering a move to Santa Rosa, California? Maybe you just started to do a little bit of research and are starting to get worried about things you are hearing like fire risk, cost of living, homelessness, weather, traffic, the list goes on and on. Listen, I totally understand. I would be worried about the exact same things that you are thinking about. But unfortunately, so much of what you've heard is a lie. That's why I am making this video. Stick with me to the end of this video and I will give you a clear picture of what Santa Rosa, California actually looks like to live here, being born and raised here myself. What's up guys, my name is Danny M. Cronin, and if this is your very first time to my channel, please do me a huge favor. Consider hitting the subscribe button. I drop a video once a week, every single week, all having to do with living in Sonoma County. And of course, I am a full-time real estate agent. So if you have any real estate related questions at all, or maybe you just have some questions about the area, maybe you want to gather a little bit more information, all my contact information is down below. Call me, text me, email me, whatever is more convenient for you. And all of those links are also posted in the description box below. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. I think the first thing you will see if you Google Santa Rosa, California is the homeless problem. Yes, there are homeless people that currently live in Santa Rosa, but fortunately for us, it is not nearly as bad as some of the other cities you will see outside of Sonoma County. Back in 2022, Santa Rosa rolled out a 5-year plan to resolve our homeless problem we have here currently. And in between 2022 and 2024, homelessness actually decreased by 18% from 1,600 people all the way down to 1,300 people. And we're only 2 years into the plan at this point. But you have to remember the population here in Santa Rosa is 175,000 people. So depending on where you are in the city, you will see more or less homeless encampments. I talk about it all the time. One of the more popular spots for a homeless encampment is the Joe Rodata Trail that takes you from Santa Rosa to Sebastopol. It's a biking and walking trail. So that is one of the more common areas you will find homeless encampments. But Santa Rosa does a pretty good job of clearing that out occasionally to free up that path once again. But it's one of those things, you will see homeless people in and around Santa Rosa. And the thing I always mention to people when they bring this up is try to think of a city anywhere that you can think of that does not have a homeless problem. When you look at Santa Rosa from a bigger lens, again, 175,000 people, not the biggest city, but certainly the biggest city in Sonoma County. And if you only have around 1,300 homeless people, that really doesn't take up a lot of the population. So again, this is situational. There's more in some areas, there's less in some areas. There are homeless people here, but again, tell me where you will not find any homeless people in any city across America. The second thing you will see if you're starting to do some research about Santa Rosa is the fire risk we have here. A lot of people were made aware of this during 2017 when we had the Tubbs fire that did devastate a huge portion of Santa Rosa. It was one of the more upsetting things that has ever happened in the history of Santa Rosa. Before that, there was a Kincaid fire that was substantially smaller. And then there wasn't another fire before that until 1978. And that was the Fountain Grove fire that did take out a lot of Fountain Grove at that time. So again, obviously, fire risk, a huge concern, especially for young families moving here. Maybe you're coming from a different area where fires are just not normal. And I like to think still, even to this day, fires in Santa Rosa are not normal. There have been so many regulations put into place since the 2017 fires. I think the city has done a great job dealing with these, making evacuation plans, having more access to fire roads. PG&E will occasionally turn off the power momentarily if we are in a high fire zone, maybe like sometimes in the summertime and things like that. So I think the city has done a good job. Again, obviously, if you're in other areas, you are worried about other things like tornadoes, tsunamis, all sorts of crazy things, hurricanes. So being here in Santa Rosa, fire is pretty much the only natural risk that we have. Obviously, there's earthquakes and things like that. But for the most part, in Santa Rosa, we don't really have to worry about a whole lot, just the occasional fire. Obviously, I hope these fires get better, and I hope there is never a fire to be had here in Santa Rosa, but it certainly is something to consider. Another thing you will see pretty often is traffic problem in Santa Rosa. I've mentioned this in a few other videos. I can't, for one, really understand the traffic problem that many people talk about. I mean, we are a smaller city. There's a lot of smaller roadways. We only have really two main highways. One of them is 101. The other one is Highway 12. That's pretty small. That just runs east and west. But there's a lot of times during the day that you will actually not see any traffic at all. I think, again, Santa Rosa has done a pretty good job at maintaining this over the years. Maybe they could have done a little bit better when it came to the master plan, but the city is growing, so who knows what's going to happen in the future if they're going to expand more roadways. Highway 101, there always seems to be some construction going on there. If you're heading south, or if you're heading south to Petaluma, there's always a little bit of construction going on. But again, throughout the day, you really do not have to worry about traffic at all. Maybe more so during the rush hour times when people are getting off work, picking up their kids from school, etc. But for the most part, again, day to day, it's pretty dang easy to get around in Santa Rosa. Another thing you will see often mentioned is the cost of living here in Santa Rosa. The average home price here in town is just around $660,000, and the median household income is right around $93,000. I think this one is, something that locals like to talk about pretty often, and I can understand things have certainly changed. Obviously, back in the day, you could buy a home for less than $100,000. And today, that is obviously not an option anymore. So things will get more expensive as time goes on. Again, I think that's just something that's going to happen in every city across America. Obviously, there's other variables that kind of control that number. But for the most part, I do think Santa Rosa is still a very much so affordable city, especially when you look at median home prices like $661. There's not many cities around that have a median home price of $661,000. So something to consider. It is a lot more expensive. Obviously, we are in California, so it's more expensive than some other states, but I think for the most part, Santa Rosa is pretty reasonable when it comes to real estate and cost of living if you're starting to compare it to some other major cities. If you are enjoying this video so far, please do me a huge favor. Give me a huge like on this video. It really helps out the channel. Only takes you 2 seconds. And of course, please consider subscribing. I drop a video once a week, every single week, all having to do with living in Sonoma County. And if you're getting serious about making a move here, all my contact information is down below. Call me, text me, email me. If you're super serious about making a move, we can schedule a quick Zoom call to go over your wants and needs and see how I can help. Another thing that is mentioned quite a bit here is the weather, which for one, I truly cannot understand. I think during the summertime, it can get a little hot. I think last year, I counted, we had about 6 or 7 days where it was 100 degrees and up. It doesn't get much hotter than that, maybe 101, 102. But for the most part, in the summertime, it is a nice and cool 80 degrees. In the wintertime, it can get a little bit cold. I'm a golfer and I go out early in the morning, over the last couple of months, right now it's currently February, so the last couple of months have been pretty cold. When I wake up around 6 o'clock, it's about 30, 32 degrees, but by 10 o'clock, it gets pretty manageable around 50 and 60 degrees as the day kind of progresses. So winter times, it doesn't snow here. It does rain pretty often in the winter, but the summers are absolutely gorgeous. The springtime is amazing. So when it comes to weather, I think we're truly blessed here. I don't think anybody can deny that, but this is something I see often when I search Santa Rosa, things to worry about, cons of Santa Rosa, whatever. This is something that always pops up, which honestly is pretty laughable to me. I think we are very much so spoiled here living in Santa Rosa, and for many parts of California, it's the same. And that's going to wrap up this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, again, please consider subscribing. I drop a video once a week, every single week, all having to do with living in Sonoma County. And if you have any real estate related questions at all my contact information is popping up. Call me, text me, email me. And I just started rolling something out where if we have someone who is serious about making a move, we can schedule a Zoom call. It's usually only 30 minutes where we can talk about what you're looking for, your wants and needs, and just essentially seeing what I can do to help. So if that interests you, make sure to send me an email, call me or text me, and I will send you the link, or you can go ahead and schedule one yourself. The description link is in the box below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.